Keith?
There's been...
What's wrong? Where's Marcia?
She's taking a shower.
Why aren't you dressed?
My clothes are in the wash.
Keith, put this on. Hello, Eleanor.
Marcia?
The master bedroom. Just go look.
Just let me handle it.
Don't you think you've handled things enough, Keith?
You wouldn't lay this at my door.
Are you serious?
Have you called an ambulance?
He seems a little dead for that.
What about the police?
We called you. Given the man died in our house, we were nervous about becoming suspects, so we notified our attorney.
So the police haven't been called at all?
Not yet, no.
Do you know who the victim is?
His name is James McNown. He's a business associate of Marcia's.
What happened?
If knowing the truth would prevent you from representing me, Eleanor, you're not getting it.
How are you doing, sweetie?
Okay. Hi, Eleanor.
Hi, Allison. Okay, look, we have to notify the police.
And what do we tell them?
Well,
None of us has any idea how it happened. None of us saw it.
he just showed up in your bed dead?
Yes.
That's not gonna sound very convincing, Keith.
Eleanor, I'm placing myself in your hands now. I'll tell you as much or as little as you want to know. It's up to you. But I don't want to say anything that'll keep you from representing me. So tell me what you want.
You have blood splatterings on you. Go take a shower. I'm gonna call the police in 10 minutes. Exactly know.
Did he tell you anything?
Only that I don't want to know. And my educated guess is that he shot him.
Eleanor, take a walk.
Don't let anybody speak to them.
Told your clients are refusing to give any statements.
Choosing not to give statements.
Don't you think it kind of makes them look suspicious?
Well, then, as suspects, they're exercising their constitutional rights to remain.
Eleanor, I can't accept anyone's version of the events if no one gives me one.
I sympathize, Helen. But the burden is on the state to figure out what happened,
And as a
not...
state senator, I would think your client would want to assist the Commonwealth in that burden.
Well, you would be wrong.
You represent the wife and the daughter, too.
That is correct.
No conflict of interest there.
None.
You're not going to let any of them talk to us.
Correct.
How we doing?
Arrest Senator Ellison and take the wife into custody.
Wait a second. You're arresting both?
No, just him.
Then why take her?
As a material witness?
The state, under extraordinary circumstances, can place a witness into custody.
What are your circumstances?
We believe, Your Honor, that Senator Ellison caught his wife in bed with the victim, then shot him.
Yes, what a gifted leap. What are your circumstances for taking Mrs. Ellison into custody?
We think she's concealing evidence that she will destroy if she gets out of custody.
The evidence being...
The victim's semen or DNA evidence that would establish the two were in bed together at the time.
I'm a little confused here. What exactly are you asking for?
We'd like to do a search similar to a rape kit examination to determine...
A vaginal search.
A full body search to look for hairs and fibers.
Helen!
If your client would cooperate, Eleanor, and give us a statement by not doing so...
This is blatant blackmail, Your Honor. She is trying to force my client to testify against her husband or else be violated by a police technician.
Your client is not a suspect.
Fine. Then grant her full immunity, and then we'll consider any search.
Would she agree to testify in exchange for immunity?
I am not making any deals under the threat of coercion, and I might add the state has no authority to do an invasive bodily search. She is the suspect's wife. Spousal privilege...
That privilege goes to testimony. Bodily fluids do not constitute testimony.
Come on! The privacy issues alone...
Are outweighed by the state's interest in solving a homicide, whether or not she's a suspect. Your Honor, if we do not get this evidence tonight, it's gone.
Miss Gamble, are you sure you want this? Because if it comes out this is merely a ploy on your part, this woman can sue you personally for misconduct. You'll lose whatever evidence you might find.
I can't lose evidence I don't have, Your Honor. I want it.
I'm going to allow it.
I appeal it and...
Fine, but I'm not staying the order pending an appeal. And since it's almost midnight...
Hold a little still if you can.
And people wonder if we're becoming a police state.
I'm gonna be all over them on this. I promise you, Marcia.
Mrs. Ellison, if you could just remain still, this really shouldn't hurt.
It shouldn't hurt.
Marcia?
A man was shot in my home. My husband was arrested. And Dr. Fingers is down there with a snorkel. Would you describe this as a painless experience, Eleanor?
Let's just get through this.
Of course, get them issued tonight. Wake the magistrate up if you have to.
Not been given any details as to what happened this evening. The police have issued no statement as of yet, except to confirm that a fatal shooting did take place in the senator's home, occurring sometime this evening. Unconfirmed reports suggest that the senator was in fact home at the time.
Helen, where are we?
The senator is in custody. We have the gun. We're getting the warrants issued to search his house tonight. He had his lawyers there before the police, even. He's not talking, and it's not likely to change.
Mm-hmm. This is Alan Lowe. He just came over from Middlesex.
Hi. Why do I care?
Because he's your backup on this.
Look, I don't need any
I do. The heat on this is already...
Mr. Lowe's reputation is that he has difficulty with the concept of playing backup.
Your first chair, Helen. He gets that. Use him, Helen. Keep me informed.
Don't second guess. Don't even talk. We'll get along just fine. You can start by overseeing the warrants.
Can I ask you why you made an arrest so quickly?
See, you're talking.
I'm not second guessing, I'm just asking.
The only way I could search Mrs. Ellison was to make a showing she's not a suspect. The best way of doing that was to arrest the senator. Anything else?
No.
Great. Warrants.
A cavity search?
She called Judge Finkel.
And did they find anything on her?
I hope not. She took a shower before the police came. The victim wore a condom, so maybe there was nothing. I also had Keith take a shower, so he should be clean.
What do you mean you had Keith shower? You instructed him to take a shower?
Did I say that?
Yes, you did.
Well, I misspoke. I did not direct him to take a shower. He independently decided to. Lay off me, will you? If this was one of your closest friends...
You broke the law.
I told you, Bobby, I misspoke. It was his decision, and I have no affirmative duty to prevent him from bathing if that's what he chose to do.
Eleanor, because this is one of your oldest friends, it makes me nervous. This is a state senator. This case will be under a microscope. If we cross any ethical lines here...
I won't. I won't.
Volunteer to admitting. Volunteer to admitting.
Did you find what you were looking for? Well, it'll take a little time for them to analyze everything they found, Mrs. Ellison. I just wanted to talk to you for a minute. I'm represented by counsel, Ms. Gamble. Yes, but you're not a suspect, so whether you're represented or not... So this isn't custodial? Once the examinations are completed, you're free to go, yes. Does Eleanor Frutt know you're here? Mrs. Ellison, we all know what happened here. Has your attorney explained to you that your silence could incriminate you? Gee, no. But as you explain it, it seems I am indeed a suspect of criminal wrongdoing, which makes this interrogation improper, if not illegal. Okay, well, I guess what I'm trying to say... You probably won't be able to save your husband from his fate, but you may very well hurt yourself and your daughter in the process. Fine. And should you ever lose your job for violating suspects' Fifth and Sixth Amendment rights, perhaps you could tour as a motivational speaker. You're being dismissive, Mrs. Ellison. It would be a great error in judgment for you to dismiss me. Maybe I shot him, Ms. Gamble. There's your statement.
We're told, Jenny, that warrants were issued last night and that Senator Ellison's office is being searched as we speak. The arraignment was scheduled for 9 o'clock. Whether that's been delayed or not... Here they come!
Next matter on the calendar, criminal case number 32723, Commonwealth versus Keith Ellison. Murder in the first degree.
Eleanor Frutt for the defense. Good morning, Your Honor.
Helen Gamble for the Commonwealth. In that this is a first-degree homicide, we ask that Senator Ellison be held without bail.
My client has no previous criminal record. He has strong and extensive roots in the community. He is, in fact, a trusted government official who poses neither a safety nor flight risk.
The defendant is being charged with a brutal homicide. The fact that he is a state senator should afford him no special consideration.
We are not asking for favors. In fact, just the opposite, that he be treated the same...
$1 million bond, $250,000 cash.
Thank you, Your Honor. We would also move for an immediate trial.
The prosecution needs time to develop its case.
An arrest has been made here. If the prosecution doesn't have a case...
I would appreciate it if counsel could refrain from posturing.
What are you looking for?
December.
They're looking to buy time, Your Honor.
I'd also appreciate it if defense counsel could limit herself to representing the defendant and not the Commonwealth's intentions.
Trial date of September 24th. Let's conference tomorrow, set up a schedule. For now, we're adjourned.
Your Honor, I'm loath to turn this into an unnecessary street fight,
Oh,
but
yeah, she's so adverse to confrontation.
I believe counsel, in her zealous efforts to provide legal representation to the defendant, is guilty of witness tampering or worse, obstruction of justice.
What?
We have been unable to interview key witnesses to this crime, people present at the scene who have been instructed by Miss Frutt not to talk to either police
Miss Gamble is now attempting to try her case in the press and contaminate a potential jury pool.
I am attempting to cut through a cover-up orchestrated by counsel.
The district attorney anticipates not being able to mount much of a prosecution, so she's trying to establish the perception that it's our fault she can't assemble evidence.
Defense counsel is again trying to represent my thoughts.
Your thoughts are transparent enough for everyone.
All right, Ms. Gamble, you will not be using my courtroom to color public opinion.
I'm not doing that, Your Honor.
Who are the witnesses?
Mrs. Ellison and Allison Ellison, the defendant's daughter.
Mrs. Ellison certainly enjoys spousal privilege, Your Honor.
What about the daughter?
We can't even get in a room with her.
Miss Frutt, if I get wind of tampering...
I'm not doing that, Your Honor.
Is that right? Do these people have separate counsel?
I am the family attorney.
Oh, you're the family attorney. Did you tell the wife and daughter they could face accessory charges? Did you advise them it might be in their best interest to cooperate with the police?
Any and all communications between me and my clients is, of course, privileged, Your Honor.
Mrs. Ellison and Allison, I strongly advise both of you get your own lawyers here. I won't order it for now. But Ms. Frutt may want to silence you for the defendant's sake, and it may not be what's best for you. In the meantime, Ms. Frutt, I am ordering that you make Allison available to the district attorney for an interview. If she refuses to talk, she can be subpoenaed to a grand jury. That's all for now. We're adjourned.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, I'd like security to escort Allison to my office immediately.
Why?
I have concerns that counsel might seek to prepare her statement.
I object to that.
I would submit if there are no plans to conference with Miss Ellison, what's the harm?
Miss Ellison is also a client, and since criminal charges may possibly be levied against her, I have the right to advise.
Security will escort Miss Ellison to Miss Gamble's office. Defense counsel, but not the defendant, may be present at the interview. We're adjourned.
Do you have any idea what she's going to say? Don't let the media get anywhere near him.
Jimmy, you take the neighborhood, see if anybody heard or saw anything. I'll interview the employees at Mrs. Ellison's job. Lucy, you stay on top of the incident reports. Lindsay, you're in charge of jury consultants. Hire them today. Beck, I need you to research temporary insanity, heat of passion.
Research? Why do I always get research?
Rebecca.
You always put me on research. Why can't I ever do field work?
Because Jimmy and I are better at it. Sorry if that answer disappoints you.
Are we sticking everybody on this one case?
Yes, we are, Lindsay, because like it or not, we will be defined by this one case. We will be the firm that either won it or didn't win it. It would be nice to be the firm that won it. Everybody's got a role. Let's go.
We had just come home from the movies. Our movie was sold out, actually, so we had come home early.
You and your dad?
Yes.
Then what did you do?
I just went to my room. I think I might have gone to the bathroom first, and then I was getting ready to call a friend. And then I heard some screaming and yelling.
Did you recognize the voices? Did you recognize the voices, Allison?
No.
Okay. Then what happened?
After a few seconds, I heard a loud popping sound. And more screaming. I ran down the hall into my parents' bedroom. My mother and father were screaming about something. My mother was crying. They just kept on screaming at each other. And then I looked over and saw there was a man in their bed. He wasn't moving, and he was bleeding. And his eyes were open.
Did you hear what your mother and father were screaming about?
No.
Did you see blood on your father's clothes?
I don't remember.
Did you notice if there was a gun around?
I didn't see any gun.
Allison, what do you think happened?
I don't know.
If you had to guess.
She doesn't have to make guesses.
You were allowed to be present for this interview. You were not permitted to either conduct it
I will
or to
advise
inhibit.
my client to tell what she knows and not to formulate opinions.
You want to go right back in front of that judge?
Fine.
Hold on. Why don't you just ask your questions?
Yes, that would be nice. Did you ever ask your parents what happened?
No.
Did you know what happened?
No.
You didn't know what had happened, and you didn't ask.
Correct.
Allison, did you have any discussions with your attorneys about what you might say here at this meeting?
Don't answer. Privilege, work product, forget it.
We're into tampering, Bobby.
You think you can make tampering? Try. But don't be asking our client about conversations she had with us.
So you had a conversation in preparation for this meeting?
Don't answer.
Whether or not the conversation was had does not
I'm
fall
instructing
within the
my client not to answer.
I've told you all I know.
You've told us all you know, Allison.
Yes. I heard a pop and yelling. That's it.
And you never asked your parents what happened here?
No. I didn't.
Information to share with you at this time.
Has Senator Ellison made any kind of statement?
Senator Ellison is currently refusing to speak with us at the advice of his attorney.
Mr. Lowe, one more question.
Get that out of my face, please.
What about Mrs. Ellison?
Mrs. Ellison is also refusing to cooperate, which we find frustrating. Certainly, it's every defendant's right not to speak, and that right would inure to the spouse as well. But we're particularly disappointed when a state senator, a person ostensibly committed to justice, forsakes that commitment out of self-interest.
That's misconduct. Say that.
Let's get it in before Judge Finkel. Shut them down.
Whoa, slow down.
He cannot comment on a defendant's silence. The state bar...
Eleanor?
He's deliberately contaminating the jury pool.
Of course he is, but if we go to Judge Finkel, he might gag all of us. We do not want that.
Why not? If he's going to try their case in the press...
Because we need the press more than they do. Now, we all know how it looks. We need to shape public opinion here. If we get gagged...
Why aren't we at least putting out some version?
We don't need to. The burden is on them.
Our people were there. The prosecution can prove they were there. To me, that shifts the burden to us.
I agree.
I don't. We got 3 possible suspects here. The senator, his wife, or the daughter. The prosecution can't nail any of them beyond a reasonable doubt.
Oh, please, he's convicted now.
You're just mad over doing research.
Oh, that's funny.
All right.
We're up against Helen Gamble here and Alan Lowe.
We've beaten Helen many times, Lindsay.
If they prove this affair, that gives them motive. With motive, his being at the scene, his gun, he's gone. We need to start building a theory and put it out there. The more we wait...
Look, let's just see what their evidence file shows. It's too soon for us to commit to anything.
Bobby, hello?
Public opinion can't send him to prison, Lindsay.
Are you sure? For this one?
Is it good news?
Sort of. Ballistics confirm it was his gun.
Prints?
Wiped clean.
Trace metal?
Negative. There was a pair of dishwashing gloves soaking in the sink.
What about powder burns or primer residues?
No, but they could have washed off if...
Anything to prove the affair?
Not yet. No semen, nothing from the cavity search. No blood on her, but she showered, so...
What about hairs in the bed?
Some, but they could be old. It's early, Helen. Give us time.
Interview everybody at her work. Somebody had to have seen the 2 together.
They'll never prove it. No one ever saw us.
You can be sure of that.
He always left before me. He had his own set of keys to my car. He'd get in, duck down. I'd come down, drive home directly into my garage. No one ever saw him go into my house.
Suppose somebody saw him get into your car.
He always made sure that never happened.
Okay, look. Ordinarily, we would just sit back and do nothing here. We would leave the burden to the prosecution to prove the crime. The problem, this case is so high profile that there's an enormous danger of jury contamination. We want you to tell us what happened.
Isn't that dangerous?
If it means you having to get other lawyers...
No.
Keith?
No! I want your firm.
Senator, the likelihood is that they will be able to prove your wife's affair with the victim. With that, with your gun being the murder weapon, with you being at the scene, with your clothes being in the washer, you'll be convicted, Senator. If you tell us what happened, you might give us something to go with.
Keith, you said you were putting yourself in my hands. As your lawyer, as your friend, I am advising you to tell us what happened.
The movie was sold out. So Allison and I came home early. Allison, I guess, went off to her room and I went upstairs. And I heard sounds coming from our bedroom. I heard a male voice. And I thought I could only think that maybe Marcia was being raped or attacked. And I got my revolver from the safe in the back of the linen cupboard, and I went to the bedroom. And I saw this stranger on her, and I squeezed the trigger. And suddenly, Marcia was screaming. There was blood everywhere. It all happened so fast, and I saw this man and I shot him. I didn't realize until after what had really been going on.
The problem with that? The gun was wiped clean of prints. Your clothes were in the washer. And the question will be, if you thought you were justified, why did you try to cover your tracks?
I did that. It was stupid, I suppose, but he's worked his entire adult life building his public career. And I didn't want to see it all go away because of something that I caused.
I assume you will testify that from your vantage point, it appeared he was acting in defense of you.
Of course.
Well, then that's how we proceed. We argue mistaken defense of others. It's a form of self-defense.
I'd like to make a public statement.
I don't recommend that.
You said yourself that they were trying this in the press.
Anything you say could be used to impeach you.
I'll keep it short.
It's a bad idea.
It's a great idea. I mean, you can certainly go over what he plans
What
to
if
say.
he ad-libs the wrong thing?
You make sure he doesn't. Bobby, his going before the cameras, it goes to the same jury pool the prosecution is trying to influence right now. And if he talks, more cameras will be rolling.
Why aren't we going for a change of venue, if you ask me?
We want this venue, Rebecca. He's a celebrity here, a popular one.
Well, if he goes forward with a statement now, you're married to self-defense. You can't then go on the elements.
Does anybody here really believe we've got a shot on the elements? I mean, his house, his gun, he's at the scene, and they can probably prove the affair. Self-defense is our best hope, and best we start working the jury now.
I'm with Eugene. Let the man talk.
So far, it's like the Immaculate Affair, although we do have one witness willing to say she saw something going on at a party. It's nothing I'd call concrete, but...
Nobody saw them go into a motel?
Kenny, this woman's prepping to be the First Lady of Massachusetts. She was careful.
You know about this press conference?
Excuse me?
He's called for a press conference. He's going on.
Who?
I should first note, I appear before you today against the advice of my counsel, who you see behind me. For purposes of a criminal trial, it's best to remain silent, a fact I know you are acutely aware of. But being in public office, I enjoy a public trust, and that trust cannot faithfully be served or honored by my continued silence. And thus, I feel it is my duty to come forward because the public has a right to know. On Saturday, July 12th, I left in the early evening to go see a movie with my daughter, Allison. The film being sold out, we returned early.
You believe this?
Shh. When I heard the sounds, it sounded like a physical attack. It even sounded like somebody was being strangled. I retrieved my revolver, which I kept in the house for personal protection, and I ran to the room in fear, desperate fear, that my wife, Marcia, was either being raped or worse, murdered. When I entered the room, I saw what appeared to be a struggle with a strange man on top of my wife. I thought she was being killed. As he rolled to face me, I discharged my revolver. The bullet hit him, and he fell silent. It was only in the following seconds that I came to realize what was actually going on. My wife was not, in fact, under attack. The passion I mistook for rage for a deadly threat was a different kind of passion. A passion a husband never wants to think his wife. I shot a man who was committing adultery, not a man who was trying to kill. I didn't realize this until it was obviously too late. Though I will have to live with the fact that I took another human life, it is something I will never get over. In my mind, I saw a potentially deadly threat of violence against my wife. I accept responsibility. I ask for no one's forgiveness, only your understanding. Thank you.
The fact that Senator Ellison would refuse to talk to the police, would refuse to cooperate with our investigation, only to go before the cameras with a self-serving ramble overtly designed to poison the objectivity of the people he was elected to represent, I found that to be inconceivable. I found it personally disgusting.
Did you know he'd be claiming self-defense?
You know, we expected something desperate, and that is exactly what this is. It's an anemic Hail Mary from a guilty murderer. Why was the gun wiped clean of fingerprints? Why were his clothes thrown in a washer? Was this obstruction of justice in service to his public trust? Who exactly did he honor by trying to cover all of this up? Well, let me tell you this. As a district attorney, I have a duty to the public trust as well. And that's to see that when people kill human beings, they go to prison. There's no exceptions for politicians. No excuses for wronged husbands. No favors for eloquent speakers. You kill, you go to jail. And that is what will happen here.
It was mainly a feeling. Never heard or saw any actual proof.
And the feeling was?
They were involved. They would shoot each other looks sometimes. Flirty behavior. I just assumed something was going on between them.
How well did you know Mrs. Ellison?
Not well. We worked in the same office, obviously, but I had very little direct interaction.
And the victim, Mr. McNown?
He was my boss.
And this party, Mrs. Ellison came with Mr. McNown?
Oh, God, no. She came with her husband. But I saw them in an office together.
Mr. McNown and Mrs. Ellison?
And it looked like something was going on between them. I just know it.
So what? It's not enough that we establish the affair now. We have to show he knew about it. If we can prove he knew what was going on, there's no way they'll sell self-defense. Husbands know. They always know.
Well, we haven't been able to find any...
Then get back out there, Mike. Dig harder.
All right, Helen. Mike, this is a big piece. If we can show that he was even suspicious that his wife was sleeping around, we'll be able to argue that he knew what was going on when he went for the gun.
Look, we're dead. You all do know that. The guy is sympathetic, he's charming, he's credible, and we're dead.
No, we're not. The guy caught a man screwing his wife, he blows the guy's head off, and then he says, oops, I thought he was trying to kill her? We'll get him.
We've got nothing on state of mind, Alan. It's us against his word, and you saw how well he plays. Helen Gamble. Okay. Judge wants to see us.
Should we bother to have a trial here, people? Or just put it to a referendum on the November ballot? I would gag you all right now if I didn't think you'd both immediately start with confidential sourcing. Miss Frutt, you let your client hold press conferences, you will have a hard time disqualifying jurors for knowing too much. Ms. Gamble, attempt to prejudice the trial, you will find your jury challenges gone. I will prohibit you right now from making any comments concerning the evidence of this case. That goes for every one of you. Now, common sense tells me this goes away for manslaughter. 6 years, 3 suspended.
That seems a little light.
You jump at it, don't kid yourself, and so should you. The idea he thought she was being killed smells like crap. This was a heat of passion murder. Let's dispose of it for what it is.
Are you recommending it?
With good behavior, you could get out in 18 months.
Isn't that a bargain for human life-taking?
Can I win this?
You could, but it's a risk, Keith. And if we lose, you are looking at murder 2, which carries a statutory life sentence.
I just told the public it was self-defense. If I plead on manslaughter, how would that look?
I think the public is sophisticated enough to know.
And they believe me, by the way. Have you heard the HDH poll? My approval ratings are higher than before the shooting.
Well, then it was all worth it.
Do we have a problem?
Do we have a problem? Eleanor, I was having an affair. I was fond of this person, and Keith shot him. Clearly, these are not the best of times.
I don't want to plead.
You can't be looking at this with respect to your political career. This is about your life, Keith, your freedom.
My life is my political career, Eleanor. You know that. And it's over if I accept a homicide conviction.
As convincing as you are, to get a jury to believe that you ran in there shooting in self-defense?
You don't believe it?
I do. But I know you. The 12 people in that box?
Are you telling me we cannot win this trial?
I am not telling you that.
And isn't it possible the manslaughter deal could still be available during trial?
That is certainly possible, but...
Then I want to try. Let's see how the trial goes. Then...
If the prosecution's case goes well, this deal will be off the table.
18 months, Keith. You killed a man.
It was mistaken self-defense. The prosecution knows they can't disprove that. That's why the manslaughter is being offered. We go to trial.
You understand the risk?
I do. Let's go to trial.
Previously on the practice.
What happened?
His name is James McNown. He's a business associate of Marcia's.
The police have issued no statement as of yet, except to confirm that a fatal shooting did take place in the senator's home.
Ballistics confirm it was his gun.
Prints?
Wiped clean.
Interview everybody at her work. Somebody had to have seen the two together.
I saw them in an office together.
Mr. McNown and Mrs. Ellison.
And it looked like something was going on between them.
The likelihood is that they will be able to prove your wife's affair with the victim. With that, with your gun being the murder weapon, with you being at the scene, you'll be convicted, Senator.
I'd like to make a public statement.
It's a bad idea.
I saw what appeared to be a struggle with a strange man on top of my wife. I shot a man who was committing adultery, not a man who was trying to kill.
Common sense tells me this goes away for manslaughter.
That seems a little light.
You jump at it, don't kid yourself, and so should you.
It was mistaken self-defense. The prosecution knows they can't disprove that. That's why the manslaughter is being offered. We go to trial.
If you didn't get your courtroom pass 3 weeks ago, and without media credentials, you'd have to know somebody to get one, you won't be sitting in Division 3 in the Suffolk Superior Courthouse. Not today, or any day in the near future. It's not just because it's a murder trial, or that it involves a state senator, or even that two of the opposing lawyers are roommates. It's because of that burning question this trial will attempt to answer. The question that this entire city has for 2 months now been asking on every street corner, in every bar room, at every dinner table. What was Senator Ellison really thinking when he fired that gun? Did he believe his wife's life was in danger, or was the shooting an act of vengeance? The prosecution has vowed to put in a short case, the facts not really being in dispute. Every legal analyst agrees the trial will come down to Senator Ellison's testimony and the cross-examination by Helen Gamble, which figures to be extremely tough.
Let's go.
This trial is not about who shot and killed James McNown. The defendant did that. There's no dispute there. This trial is about why he did it. Now, the evidence will show conclusively that the defendant discovered his wife making love to the victim and, in an act of anger and revenge, murdered Mr. McNown. The evidence will show the defendant then sought to cover up his crime, that he either destroyed or tampered with evidence in an attempt to get away with this murder. There's an old saying in the medical profession: when you hear hoofbeats, don't think zebra. Now, this means instead of looking for some exotic, far-fetched diagnosis, just see the obvious. In this trial, ladies and gentlemen, the Commonwealth will only be asking you to see the obvious. The defendant murdered the man sleeping with his wife.
I agree with the district attorney. This trial is simply about why Senator Ellison fatally wounded the stranger in his house. To answer that question, you'll need to get into the head of Senator Ellison. You'll need to imagine coming home late at night and hearing the sounds of a struggle coming from your bedroom. You will need to fathom the panic knowing your spouse was home alone this night. You will have to appreciate the fear that can suddenly consume you at the thought that the person you love is being raped or possibly killed in the next room. Can any of us truly presume to know what that must be like? Have any of us ever had to listen to the sounds of a husband or wife being attacked by an intruder? The evidence will show what happened that night is that Senator Ellison went racing into that room to protect the woman he loved, the mother of his daughter, Allison. He charged in there with a gun in a state of panic, fear, horror to see an intruder on top of his wife, and he fired. Turns out, he got it wrong. It was mistaken self-defense. That will be the evidence because it's the truth. And as you listen to the facts, the testimony, the witnesses, remember, the prosecution's entire case, all of it, the reason we are even here is their presumption they know what was going on in Senator Ellison's mind. Of course that's impossible. Impossible for them to know, impossible for you to know. All the Commonwealth can really do is ask you to imagine. And we will be making that very same request. Imagine.
That's how he looked when we got there.
Who else was there when you arrived, Detective?
The defendant, Mrs. Ellison, the daughter Allison, and the defendant's attorney, Ms. Frutt.
The attorney was there before the police?
That's correct.
Who called the police?
Ms. Frutt.
Was there ever a 911 call placed from the residence?
No, there was not.
After you finally got there, at some point you decided to place the defendant under arrest for murder.
Yes.
Why?
It was a single gunshot wound to the head from a fairly close range, resembling an execution style.
Objection?
Sustained.
The gun was found on the scene. It belonged to the defendant.
Did you check it for fingerprints?
It had been wiped clean of any fingerprints.
Did you subsequently do any tests on the defendant to determine if he had held the gun?
Yes. We did what is known as a trace metal test, which basically indicates whether or not a person has recently held a firearm.
And what were the results of this test?
They were negative.
Well, now I'm confused. Because the defendant subsequently admitted that he had held and fired the gun.
We believe that he either wiped the residue off or he was wearing gloves.
So before he ran to get the gun, he first ran to go put on a pair of gloves.
Objection, speculation.
Overruled. He can state his opinion.
We think he was going to hide his ID as the shooter, then change his mind and went to self-defense.
When you arrived, Detective, how was the defendant dressed?
He was showered, wearing freshly laundered clothes. The clothes he had previously been seen in were in the washing machine.
The washing machine? Was that on when you arrived?
No, but judging from the heat on the surface of the machine, we determined that it had been on within the previous 40 minutes.
So, after the shooting, the defendant Did a load of laundry.
Seems so.
After a shooting at this range, it's likely there would be some blood splattered on Senator Ellison. Isn't that right, Detective?
Yes.
Isn't it also likely, Detective, that a person might not want to stand around in bloody clothes?
That's possible.
And if one were to take off bloody clothes, what would one likely do with them? Fold them up, put them back in the drawer?
Objection.
Withdrawn. It's your testimony, Detective, that because my client washed his clothes, that made him suspicious.
Yes. It's one thing.
You've answered the question, thank you. You also testified that he'd taken a shower.
Which I also found suspicious.
Preposterous to think that a person splattered with blood might want to wash himself?
I found it a little preposterous that he would shower and do laundry before even calling the police, yes.
Oh, you know he did those things before Miss Frutt called the police?
I know he did them before we arrived.
That wasn't your statement, Detective. Your conclusion was he did them before you were called. Can you state that to a conclusion, Detective?
No.
So this was a conclusion you just leapt to?
No.
You just took the evidence found and made it fit with your theory.
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained.
Ever known it to be the case, Detective, where one holds the gun, shoots it even, and the trace metal test comes up negative?
Very unlikely.
Ever known it to happen, Detective?
Yes.
And if one were to take a shower, Detective, would that make it more or less likely for the trace metal test to come up negative?
Washing the hands doesn't
My question, Detective, is would showering make it more or less likely for the trace metal test to come up negative?
I would say more likely, but...
So it's likely my client didn't wear gloves like you think.
That's possible.
Thank you, Detective.
I thought you crossed him well.
We still got to deal with no fingerprints. Why the gun was wiped clean.
Marcia covers that in her testimony.
That was a weak opening for the prosecution. I'm surprised they led with that.
What else have they got?
Who's next?
Jason Perlmutter, former aide to the senator.
I'm ready for him. What did the consultant say?
McGuire did come off credible, and phoning the lawyers before calling the police didn't go over well. They thought you were a little aggressive.
What else?
That's basically it. They thought you did a good job poking holes, but McGuire still seemed reasonable, and ultimately they believed him.
You got to take care of Perlmutter.
Something was bothering him the whole week.
The week before the shooting?
Yes. Senator Ellison is typically a very affable person and rather easygoing for somebody with the stress of his kind of work. But in the days before the shooting, something was troubling him.
How are you in a position to notice all this, Mr. Perlmutter?
I was his aide. I was typically with him 12 hours a day.
Did you ask him what was wrong?
Objection, hearsay?
Declaration against interest.
I'll allow it.
Did you ask him, sir?
Yes, he indicated it was stuff at home.
And you took that to mean?
Problems with his marriage.
How did you come to take it that way?
Well, he would indicate that he and his wife would go through bouts of estrangement. And after working for him for 11 years, I developed a pretty good barometer for detecting when things weren't going well.
And the days before the shooting, this was one of those times, in your opinion?
Yes.
Are you a psychologist?
No.
Did Senator Ellison tell you he was having troubles with his wife?
No, not specifically.
But you have a barometer.
He said, stuff at home.
And you just took that to mean problems with the wife?
I had also seen them together many times, Ms. Frutt, and witnessed the estrangement.
He has a daughter, Allison. Did you know that?
Of course.
Did you know that she was arrested for possession of marijuana last year?
No.
So, stuff at home goes on that you don't know about. Isn't that right, Mr. Perlmutter?
I never laid claim to knowing everything that goes on in his household, of course not.
So, when Senator Ellison said stuff at home, you were only guessing that it involved his wife, weren't you, sir?
Again, after 11 years of working with the man...
You've got that barometer.
Objection?
Sustained.
Nothing further.
You're in some trouble.
Why?
Well, you're asking them to believe he shot a man by mistake who just happened to be sleeping with his wife at the time.
Which is what happened.
Maybe so, but for the jury to believe it, everything has to be going our way. With the suggestion of marital troubles, it just makes it a little hard to believe that Keith didn't have some inkling of what was going on.
Is that what the consultants think?
It's what I think.
Who's up next?
Candace Levy. She's just to help establish the affair, which, since nobody's arguing, I don't know why they're still bothering to call her.
They're calling her to set the idea. The more people who knew about it, the more likely the senator knew about it.
Well, there's nothing she can say that will really hurt us. And besides, she's the only one who seemed to know about it.
Who's after that?
They still might call Allison to establish a time frame.
She's not going to give them any help. They won't dare call her.
It might be worth calling her.
Why?
Well, it was so obvious before that she was lying to protect her father. If it's that obvious to a jury, it's got to work in our favor. Yeah, all we got to do is catch him in one lie, even if it's the daughter's.
No, Helen. They're planning to call her. That means they prepped her for cross. It's too dangerous. Are you ready with Levy?
Yes. You hear what they're calling us on the news? The STEAM team?
Why's that?
I don't know. Maybe because they think I'm hot and steamy, and you, because you're sitting next to me.
Must be it. You like being on the news, huh?
If it gets me noticed by some rich admirer who whisks me off to Fiji to lick caviar off my thighs, I can't beat that.
You ever notice how in a big trial, any place far off seems pretty good?
Think we'll get him?
I hope so. I keep hearing that press conference in my head. The man is good.
All in all, it wasn't a terribly powerful day for the prosecution, but the consensus is it didn't need to be. Though technically the burden is on the state, most experts feel that burden has really shifted to the defense in this case.
I'm getting a bad feeling, Bobby. Anything on the table?
No. We haven't even put in our case yet.
Our case? Well, a big part of it is Marsha's unflinching support, which isn't so great.
She'll say what she needs to say.
I got a bad feeling.
It was an office party in honor of one of the vice presidents who was retiring. Mr. McNown was there. So was Mr. Ellison with his wife.
What's your position, Miss Levy?
I'm the head of accounting.
And who was your direct superior?
It was Mr. McNown. He was chief financial officer.
Did you know Mrs. Ellison?
Yes. She also works at Reynolds. I never dealt directly with her.
Miss Levy, calling your attention to the night of the office party in July, did you have occasion to observe either Mr. McNown or Mrs. Ellison?
Yes. I observed them both when they sort of darted into his office.
They darted?
Well, they went in rather quickly.
What did you see next?
Well, I didn't exactly see anything, but I'm ashamed to admit I did a little eavesdropping by the door.
Any particular reason you would do that?
Well, I suspected there was something going on between them.
Why?
Just body language when they interacted. I could tell.
Now, while you were doing your eavesdropping by the door, what, if anything, did you hear?
Not too much, because the party was rather loud. But I could hear she was angry. And I heard her say, "It has to stop." And she sounded angry.
Did you hear anything else?
No, that was all I heard. A few seconds later, she kind of huffed out. And I looked in. He seemed very upset.
Miss Levy, did you ever have the opportunity to hear any conversation between Mr. McNown and the defendant?
Yes. That same night.
At the party?
Yes. After Mrs. Ellison left Mr. McNown's office, about a minute later, I saw him go in.
The defendant?
Yes.
Did you hear what, if anything, was said?
The senator was also very upset, and I heard him say something like, "I will not be humiliated." He said it twice. "I will not let myself be humiliated." Those were his words.
Then what?
He stormed out.
Miss Levy, are you positive that this was July 10th, 2 days before the shooting?
Absolutely positive.
Thank you, Miss Levy. Nothing further.
Miss Levy, you and I had a conversation about the events at this party, did we not?
Yes.
I asked you if you had any reason to suspect a romantic relationship between Mrs. Ellison and Mr. McNown.
Yes, you did.
You told me all about how Mrs. Ellison went into Mr. McNown's office.
That's correct. Same as I've said here.
Yes. Well, did you ever tell me you saw the defendant go into Mr. McNown's office?
I don't believe I did.
Why is that, Miss Levy?
You didn't ask.
It's unfair surprise. That testimony...
It is an unfair surprise. She was on their list.
Not to say that. She didn't...
It isn't unfair surprise. It was a screw-up, and it was yours, Jimmy. How could you miss...
Hey, she's lying. They put her up there to lie.
Was she lying, Keith? You knew. You knew about the affair. So you murdered him.
Eleanor.
I am talking to the client.
I'm not interested in what the client has to say. If we plan to keep going with self-defense, you're not interested in anything the client has to say. Are we clear?
Can you see if they're still willing to plea?
I don't want to plea. I can't.
Keith, they've got you. Can't...
If I plead out after that testimony, I'm guilty to the world.
Are you still worried about becoming governor? You can't
That
be
woman doesn't know what she
serious.
heard. She can't be sure.
Don't be an idiot.
There's still
you are
reasonable
guilty
doubt.
in everybody's
The prosecution has
eyes.
to say you're the...
If your mind is...
Shut up!
All right, look. There's not going to be any plea offer from the prosecution at this point. Our only course is to proceed with self-defense. We argue that the woman heard it wrong. It was a loud party, she had certain predispositions, and she heard what she wanted to hear. You will have to account for what she thinks she heard in your testimony. Your testimony stays the same. You will go up first to describe your father's calm, pleasant demeanor as he came home that night. We tell the truth. This is not over. It will be if we fall apart. I'll check with the clerk to see when we go back.
Obviously, this was a devastating setback for the defense. If Senator Ellison, in fact, knew of the affair, he's hard-pressed to convince the jury he thought his wife was under attack when he went running in with the revolver.
You've been watching this
Just shut it
unfold.
off, would you
Is there any
please?
sense in the court?
I know this is out there, but is there any precedent set for changing the plea to insanity this late in the game?
No. The judge would never allow it. Where's Jimmy?
Conference room.
Eleanor. I know you're dejected, but the jury cannot see the face I'm looking at right now. Remember his press conference? If he's great on the stand, who knows? One more thing. This may not be the time, but I'm going to say it anyway. I don't ever, ever want to hear you attack a member of this law firm in front of a client again. Never mind the disrespect to Jimmy. We don't need to be inviting malpractice claims. Mistakes happen, Jimmy. No point in dwelling on it, other than to make sure it doesn't happen again.
We have an extremely difficult decision here. We need you to listen to us and consider this carefully. Your fate is obviously in your hands now. For your testimony, you can maintain self-defense. For anybody else, I would consider that ludicrous, but you have a gift when it comes to persuasion. Personally, I think it's rabbit out of the hat time. But juries are loath to convict celebrities sometimes. Now, there is an alternative.
Which is?
You could do a big mea culpa, admit that you acted in a fit of rage.
What would be the purpose of that?
I think the jury might believe it, and you'd have a shot at manslaughter. If you stick to a story the jury perceives to be a lie, our fear is they would hit you with murder one.
The difference is 6 years versus life without parole.
Those are not choices, Eleanor.
You didn't leave us with many, Keith.
You people have pulled miracles before.
Not when...
I can't go before the public and say I lied.
Keith, we're not talking about re-election anymore.
I want my miracle.
It's not coming, Keith. Now tell us what you want to do.
I'm going to take the stand. And I'm going to testify that I acted in self-defense.
You're going to go to prison.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
You remember how we used to talk Shakespeare? Who our favorite tragic heroes were?
You're about to tell me I've become your favorite tragic hero.
Our friendship kind of waned a little, Keith. I became a blight, the unseemly defense attorney who represents rapists and murderers. Not great photo ops to be seen hanging around with me. I got it, Keith.
That isn't true.
Yes, it is. But nevertheless, you came to me, Keith. Because for somebody charged with murder, there is no better friend in the world to have than me and my firm. You need to listen to the expertise you hired. If you stick with self-defense, it is my belief you will lose.
If I tell them I lied, Eleanor, everything I worked for, it's over.
Keith, you have a daughter you love, a wife...
Who will leave me as soon as the trial ends. We both know that. And she'll try to take Allison with her.
I can't win this.
Yes, you can. All we need is one juror. People love me, Eleanor. They love me.
Miss Brett, what's your difference? I've got no comment. Excuse me. I've got no comment. Get away from me!
Give her room. Let's go. Come on, keep it moving. Let's go.
What happened?
He's digging in.
Okay. We call Allison up and down, and then we call Marcia. Are you okay to do this?
I'm fine.
Eleanor, I'm sorry.
Jimmy, it's not your fault.
Come on, we gotta get in.
How would you describe your relationship with your dad?
Extremely close.
Extremely close. Were you aware of any marital problems between him and your mom?
They had fights. They would have difficult times and things would improve.
Was that difficult on you?
Sometimes.
Did you ever talk about it with your father?
Yes.
Did he ever talk about what he thought were the problems between your mother and him?
Yes.
Did he ever reveal an awareness to you about your mother's affair with Mr. McNown?
Never.
Now, Allison, given your relationship with your father, do you think he would have told you about this affair?
I do.
Do you have an opinion as to whether he knew about this affair?
My opinion is that he did not.
Calling your attention to the night of the shooting, could you please tell us what happened from your perspective?
Well, the movie we'd gone to see was sold out. So we came back home. We came into the house. Dad went to the family room. I headed upstairs. And that's when I heard them.
Heard who?
My mother. And Mr. McNown.
You heard them?
They were in her bed, doing what they usually did when Dad and I were out of the house.
Wait a second, you knew it was Mr. McNown?
My father didn't know about the affair, but I certainly did.
Well, when you heard them that night, you didn't tell your father?
No.
You just went back to your room?
Eventually.
Eventually?
First, I got the gun, and I shot Mr. McNown. Your Honor!
Chambers!
I had no idea she was going to say that. None of us.
I don't believe it for a second.
Let me talk here. Did she ever suggest to you she was the shooter?
No.
She just lied to get her father off.
Mr. Lowe, let me conduct this session, please.
Your Honor, none of us saw this coming.
She previously had given a statement that she went to her room and she heard the shots. This was blatant perjury.
Maybe it was. But your only remedy for this trial is a rigorous cross, Miss Gamble. What else can we do?
I'll make a deal with her right now. I'll drop all perjury charges in exchange for admitting her lie. She's got an out.
Well, even if she were to agree to that, I'm not sure it's in the senator's interests.
Which is why you shouldn't be representing the daughter as well
I don't disagree with that either at this point. But the fact is I am, and we have a situation.
The situation is you have an ethical obligation to take the offer to your client. We dropped the perjury in exchange for her recanting. Otherwise, she's going to be taken from that courtroom into custody.
Not in front of the jury, she's not.
There's no
Any
statutory
prejudice-
minimum, Bobby. She could get 20 years.
That's enough. You have an offer to take to the girl. If she refuses, your recourse is to try to impeach her on the stand and then arrest her post-verdict. You, and you. I want your bar cards by the end of the day.
Excuse me?
I'll hold them in escrow. If it turns out what just happened in there was one of those stunts you people have become infamous for, you will lose them forever. That's my promise.
You have just committed a very serious offense.
What? Telling the truth under oath?
Oh, that's the truth? That's...
Eleanor. I'm willing to plead guilty.
You want to plead guilty now?
Make the deal.
Senator, right now, you actually have a shot at acquittal. You
Just
want to
do it. I'm not going to let my daughter take the fall.
Can I talk?
No. I think you've talked enough for one day, Allison.
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But I probably just gave you reasonable doubt.
You
So
also confessed, Allison. They might try you for murder.
And I'll just say, my confession was a lie to save my father. If he's acquitted, they can't try him again.
He may be safe, but it's a pretty big risk for you. And even if you beat murder, they get you on perjury.
14-year-old girl trying to save her daddy. Something tells me I wouldn't go to jail for too long.
Don't count on it.
Are you really so sure I committed perjury, Mr. Donnell?
You're both covering for her.
I want to plead guilty.
Let's take a step back.
I'm the client here. I want to plead guilty, conditioned on nothing happens to Allison. And I get to hold a press conference, not in custody. Those are my terms. Take it to the DA.
Bobby, can you take Allison and Marcia out the back door? I'd like to talk to Keith.
Why?
I just need a second.
Let's go.
It is your daughter. Is she taking the rap for you? Or have you been taking the fall for her all along?
I instructed you to plead guilty.
Are you going to answer my question?
Make the deal.
Manslaughter?
And no charges brought against the daughter on anything. Plus, he gets to hold a press conference before you take him off.
Excuse me?
He wants to make a statement.
The question isn't, do you think I'm an idiot? It's how big of an idiot.
Helen.
Bobby, this was your plan all along.
It was not.
If you think I'll allow you to use perjury to bolster your bargaining position...
That was not our plan. And I'm offended by your suggestion.
Get out.
Helen.
I will not entertain any discussion, Bobby.
Helen, you wait outside for a second. I don't like this any more than you do, but the fact is they've got reasonable doubt.
When I get done crossing her, there's
No, we have no eyewitnesses, another person taking credit for the crime, a very charismatic and persuasive defendant. We're in the crapper. And right now you're blinded by anger. It sucks. No question. We're having our hand forced by perjury. But the likelihood is that this was manslaughter. He flipped out and he shot the guy, and we would be crazy to walk away from this deal.
We can't risk a straight acquittal. We just can't.
I'm gonna accept it.
It's absolute madness in the corridor. The unconfirmed reports are a plea has been reached.
Do we know what it is?
Nobody calls.
I'm informed now they're in court, and Judge Finkel is, in fact, being presented with the plea, which I'm now being told is a manslaughter conviction.
Defendant will please rise. You understand, Mr. Ellison, that you are pleading guilty to a homicide?
Yes.
And by pleading guilty to manslaughter, you are agreeing not to appeal and that you will serve a sentence not less than 6 years in state prison?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, you are recommending this agreement to your client? Your client understands the terms and accepts them?
Yes, Your Honor.
Plea is accepted, so ordered by the court. Bailiff, take the defendant into custody.
Your Honor, pursuant to the plea, my client gets to make a statement. The area is set up in the corridor.
Security will escort the defendant to the microphones and then into custody. We are adjourned.
Keith, I've got to know. It's all over now, so just tell me.
I have to make my statement.
We are not at all satisfied with this outcome. We believe this was a second-degree murder, possibly first. We accepted this plea because we fear the perjury committed by the daughter could have severely compromised our case. This is a terrible day. We just made the best deal we could.
I would certainly agree with Ms. Gamble that this is a terrible day. For whatever reason, my daughter, Allison, in a misguided effort to protect her dad, tried to mislead the jury as to what happened that night. What did, in fact, happen was exactly as I have maintained. I thought my wife, Marcia, was under attack, and I was in fear for her life. I only accepted this plea of manslaughter because my conscience cannot permit allowing my daughter to accept any culpability for this act. Did I make a mistake? Absolutely.
Is that true, Marcia?
Maybe I've learned something.
You think you're helping Allison. She's gonna end up as another teenage suicide, and you know it. And if she is the shooter, I am going to eventually prove it.
You represent her.
As of now, I don't.
You're her lawyer.
Not anymore.
You really think if Allison did this, I'd stay quiet?
I don't know. You might not want her life ruined because of an affair you had.
I never had an affair, Eleanor.
Excuse me?
I say this now, client to attorney. The reason I told you they'd never be able to prove my affair with Jim McNown is because it never happened. Jim McNown had his affair with Keith.
What?
My husband is gay, Eleanor. And you know the old saying, 2 things that'll kill a political career. Being caught with a dead woman or a live boy. Keith and Jim McNown were in that bed that night. That's why they found no semen on me. That's why they found no powder burns on Keith. And since Helen Gamble had to rule me out as a suspect in order to do the rape kit, she couldn't trace metal in my hands or test me for powder burns.
You killed him?
That information is sealed up in privilege, counselor. There's nothing you can do now but sit on it.
So, at the party,
I confronted Jim McNown with the affair. And when he said he wanted to go public with it, that's when Keith was overheard saying he wouldn't stand to be humiliated. You all were so close. Spouse comes home with daughter, finds spouse in bed with another man, snaps, shoots. You just have the wrong spouse in bed. And the wrong one with the gun.
Made a mistake. Will now serve time for that mistake. But I will come out of this stronger. My commitment to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts shall never wane. I'll pay my debt to the society I vowed to fight for, vowed to serve, and I'll be back to serve it. I felt your hearts with me during this trying time, and I won't forget your unflinching support. And my heart will stay with you. And I will be back.